Hey guys, all right, so we're gonna do a get ready with me video today. I've got a couple new products. This is the Rimmel, the Multitasker Concealer, okay? You guys heard of this? Like, I feel like it hasn't been popping up in my, Rimmel's not a real big thing in my Walmarts and my shops around the area. And this, I talked about this the other day, the Build It Up Mascara from A2O Labs. It is a Shop Miss A website, dollar store, even though I think this was a little bit more than $1 mascara, so let's try that. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Sun Touchable Whoa Glow. It is gloomy, y'all, like way gloomy. So I'm using this not because it's real sunny outside, not that it matters. All good boys and girls wear sunscreen, no matter if it's sunny or not, but I'm mostly using this to prep my skin. I moisturize early this morning, not that early. But if I try to put makeup on top of the skin, my skin right now as it is, it won't look good. And it just won't go on easily and smoothly. Okay, so I will go ahead and try the concealer first before I put on any foundation or anything, because then we can really gauge the coverage. So this is me, bare skin, with only the makeup primer sunscreen on. And I have the shade Light 030, which is probably gonna be too fair, but I can never get it right. Yeah, this is probably like a good shade for my actual skin tone, but not good for under eye concealing for me. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell. Like, you see how it just like is graying up, and I don't know if like maybe the lighting is just bad, but I will look very gray because it has to cover so much darkness and hyperpigmentation, and the shade is too fair. Yeah, it just has that gray cast. It doesn't look terrible, I guess, but it just does have that gray cast. Now, the concealer on its own, without taking into account the shade, it's actually looking really good. Like, it's not caking up in my dermal ridges. It's got medium coverage, I would say. So this might be just perfect for a average lady that doesn't have like a ton to cover. It's reminding me a lot of these that I just tried recently, the brush on concealers from A2O Studio. These are a bit more moisture rich, I would say, a little less coverage. This looks like your standard, very nice, average woman's concealer. Okay, so, and as a first impression, it's looking really nice. Like, it's looking very natural. It's not looking chalky and cakey and gross, and it's not collecting in my dermal ridges. Did I say that already? But that's always a big tell about how good a concealer is going to be, is if it starts to cake up in my dermal ridges. So let's go ahead and get the foundation on. I'm going to be using this, which is nothing new, you guys. This is the A2O Studio Luminous Skin Veil BB Cream. I did sort of put a little tiny bit of a foundation in here to mix with the BB cream, just a little bit, because it was my little jar, which is like ½ an ounce, was not wanting to pump well. Like, the product wasn't wanting to pump out. And I assumed that it was because of the jar was like halfway full or like getting empty or whatever. So there just wasn't enough product to put pressure to pump it out. So I think I put in just a little bit of this. This is the Neutrogena Sensitive Skin Serum Foundation, which is really nice all on its own, but it doesn't have a lot of coverage, and I didn't want it messing around with the way that the BB cream, A2O Studio one, performed. I didn't want too much coverage, which the Neutrogena one doesn't have a ton of coverage. It just looks very natural, very light on the skin. Okay, now let's try the concealer on this other eye once it's already had like a very thin layer of another coverage product. And again, I might have put too much on this eye. Just to even it out, I'll put a little bit more. Let's try a little bit around the nose. It is very nice. Like, It's very natural looking, so I think it's good for under eyes and other places on your face as well, because it's just blending in very seamlessly. It's not looking chalky or cakey. And I might do that next time. I've done a video like that before, concealer as foundation, but I saw a girl do that recently. And I was like, you know, might want to look into that again. I used to do that all the time, honestly, when I was a middle school, like late middle school, early high school. It looks so good, honestly. Like I don't have anything negative to say about it. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more and let it sit to see like if we can get a little bit more coverage out of it on both sides. Focusing right on that very dark spot that I have. So we'll let that sit for a second and see what that does. Okay, this has sat here for 30 seconds at least, probably more. And you can kind of see you're getting a little bit of more coverage, but I feel like it's because the skin is absorbing the moisture and what's left is the pigment. And this is very moisturizing. If you have very dry under eyes, you might really like this product. I feel like I would have really liked this if I had gotten a correct shade, a color correcting shade, because it just looks so natural. And I think today I'm gonna go ahead and use this. It seems like I haven't used this in a long time, but I feel like maybe in a video I've used it more often, so you guys are like, no, you just used that last video. But it seems to me like it hasn't been used in a while. This is the, what is it? The Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour from e.l.f. It's a liquid. And it looks so cool toned, but like when you blend it, it warms up a bit. I don't know how they do that. It's almost like if it's in that concentrated dot, it seems more cool, but then when you blend it, the warm undertones come out. And I know I've talked about this before, but this product is a little bit greasy, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's try some mascara. Again, this is the Build It Up mascara. It's got that brush that they've been putting in all the mascaras recently, sort of conically shaped. Oh, there's a hawk outside. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can see, but the clumpage, it's real. All right, it's kind of thick, like a creamy texture. It's spiking up my lashes, like they're looking spiky, but they're not looking as bad as if this were a very thin, inky type of formula. I can almost guarantee this is going to be better with the brush wiped off, so let's just do that. Okay, so this brush is like, it's almost like it's barbed and has hooks on it. It grabbed onto my tissue and would not let go when I was trying to wipe it off. Which you'd be like, oh good, that's gonna grab those lashes, which sure, but if you wanna get any of that excess product off, it's gonna look like a mascara crime scene. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it did work a little bit better, the brush being wiped off, but like I had to really fight with it to get the tissue fuzz off, and that's not usually the case. So yeah, but it looks decent. I'm gonna give it a minute to dry down so that I can curl them and then you can see, but I don't know that this is one just as a first impression that I'm just like, yes, run out and get it. I feel like it's just might not be worth the trouble. And this one has still been a favorite of mine recently, the Hard Candy Make It Double. It's been gentle on my eyes. I tried this one the other day, the Colorstay Full-Time Waterproof mascara, and it was good, but it burned my eyes. Like, I actually liked it, liked the formula, liked the idea. You do have to wipe the brush off, but again, it's a lot easier to wipe up this brush off than the one we're trying today. So if you don't have sensitive eyes, you might like to give this one a try. But this one's been doing very well for me. So I don't have any there hasn't been recently like a mascara that has just stood out to me as like this amazing mascara that I'm like, yes, this is the one, which is so sad because there's a million mascaras. There should be at least one that's the one, but apparently not in my lifetime. All right, so the concealer I'm still gonna say is decent. I just needed a darker shade, just a little bit darker, and I'll give you an idea. One that works really well for color correcting for me. This is the Bare Minerals Correcting Concealer in the shade Light 2. I'll give you a swatch. And then a swatch of the one we're trying today, which is the Rimmel Multitasker. Oh yeah, like you can just really tell. Okay, this is the Bare Minerals one, and this is one we're trying today. The Bare Minerals one is a creamy kind of consistency. And I actually think I like the liquid better, like a liquid better, but can you see, like, look at that, oh my goodness. Look at that. The oxidization, ladies, you've got to see this. Look at that. It's the same. So even still, once it's oxidized, it is a little bit better, but it's still not quite this shade, and then that's the shade that I need. But like, why is it oxidizing so bad? What is with products these days? I will never understand it. So yeah, I feel like I like a creamy, a liquid texture better. The creamy ones sometimes, and I don't know if you can tell, you might not be able to tell on camera, but the creamy ones sometimes will look a little bit chalky, even though that it doesn't make sense because a cream should be very nourishing. But these type of liquid concealers are really good for just keeping that area looking moisturized and feeling moisturized. Now, that being said, I will still powder it. And even this, like, my under eye is feeling a bit too shiny, so I'm going to add a little bit of powder, but I'd rather add the powder than it already be looking like real chalky, you know? So there's that. Yeah, so now this is beige instead of like this ivory type of a shade, like still neutral, but now it's like it oxidizes down to a deeper neutral beige. So I for that reason, I don't like a concealer that does that, but I can't take away the fact that it's looking nice on my skin, and it makes me wonder if I would have gotten a darker shade, how dark would it be? Would it turn into this kind of a shade, which is too dark for me? See, like that's too dark. This one is perfect. This one will be too dark. So I don't know, like just get your stuff together, makeup brands. Like give us a product that works and doesn't turn, you know, 3 shades darker than what we need. How can we trust you if your shade is changing? So that's all I've got for today. I will wear this for the rest of the day. I will update my thoughts in the description. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding that bell, and I'll see you in the next one.